Hey there! So today we have another review, and this is a beer from Southern Tier. This is, what do I believe, a new take on Pumking. This is cold pressed coffee Pumking. So this one rocks in 8.6%. One of the favorites of a lot of people, pumpkin beer, Pumking. So this is a coffee version, so let's dig into this one. I remember that this batch of Warlock, which is the pumpkin stout they did, was not very good. Pretty terrible, honestly, which I generally like. I'm not the biggest fan of pumpkin. I really like Warlock, but recent batch was actually pretty poor. Maybe it's my different opinions of taste and shifting palates. Very quite possible, but yeah, that's a light amber beer. You call it light amber?
Yeah, light amber. I would say a 7.
Yeah, maybe maybe a deep.
The BJCP.
Yeah, so
color guide.
Yeah, nice clarity to that. Yeah, that's coffee. It's got a little bit of that kind of green pepper note to it.
No, I favored the aroma over the last one we just had.
The pumpkin head.
The pumpkin head, yeah, because it's got less of the pumpkin spice aroma to it, and a little bit more of the coffee, but there's still like some subtle pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie. I would say pumpkin pie because pumpkin pie has pumpkin spice in it. So.
But this to me is not the great perception of what you can get from coffee. It's a lot of that green pepper, kind of like peppery.
It's a light roast aroma. I wouldn't say dark roast at all.
Yeah.
I'm more of a dark roast espresso.
And the spices come in. There's a little bit of cinnamon, some like clove, allspice, nutmeg, a little bit of like kind of that buttercrust kind of sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the coffee here is all green pepper, and from what I understand, is that when you get coffees, they have pyrazines in them that when they're not fully roasted, depends on what coffee roaster you're using, but we're not roasting coffee all the way. A lot of small batch coffee producers can have issues with roasting their coffee in a certain manner, and this is all that like peppery.
I don't get
green.
that peppery as much.
It's like green bell pepper.
No, I don't taste that as much.
No,
No.
I get that.
It tastes more, yeah, like a blonde roast to me.
Sure, that's perception.
Yeah.
Very possible. So not a deep roast.
I love coffee. Tastes like a blonde roast to me. I wouldn't say that it's literally nothing like the pumpkin head.
Sure. Well, the coffee is really a predominant note.
Yeah. It's also not as sweet.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's sweet at all.
And this is over double its ABV, almost double its ABV.
So like right up front, I get the blonde roast coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Middle, I would say you get that pumpkin pie, and then it kind of finishes again with coffee. So I think I like that a little bit more.
There's rounded kind of pumpkin kind of spiciness to it, so it has a little bit of booze to it. Has a little bit of that caramelly sweetness, a little bit of that kind of like light bread crusty pie crust kind of thing going on. It relies a good amount of like nutmeg, hints of cinnamon, allspice, maybe some clove driving in there. The clove maybe finishes on the back end, that kind of like bright clovey note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think it's a bit. It's almost kind of got some like weird spiciness to it, but
Yeah.
it
And the
is.
coffee plays into that.
Just to reiterate, I hate pumpkin spice lattes, anything like that. I am not that basic level. And I could drink this. This I would take this over Pumpkinhead.
Sure.
So I guess my final thoughts and impressions on this and rating would be this one's really good. This is one I could have like one or two of. I wouldn't drink a whole ton of it. It's kind of like, 'tis the season pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
It's 8.6%.
Sneaky.
So yeah. So that means like basically twice of the pumpkin head, which is nice. I think overall, I would have to give this. I'm gonna say a 90. Like this is definitely better than the pumpkin head in my opinion. This is still somewhat level basic B.
Yeah. Sure.
But not bad.
Yeah. This for me is a little bit more of the impression beer. It comes in at like 8 to 10 ounce kind of beer. For me, I'm not a big fan of the coffee flavor. If anything, I don't like the coffee flavor in this one. I think they could have done a good job to it, sort of like play it as a kind of like a golden amberish kind of pumpkin beer with that kind of stouty kind of flavor to it. If anything, the coffee is very light. It has again that off flavor that I don't like, which are pyrazines, which are actually in. I think Sauvignon Blanc has pyrazines in it as well. So that's kind of the compound that coffee can offer that some people may or may not like, and it does come up in beers sometimes, depending on the coffee producer you're using and the kind of coffee you're using. But the beer is a little bit more impactful. It is quite sneaky of a beer. There is a little bit more better of a base beer in it, but it again is still that kind of like imperial golden ale kind of thing. To me, I generally range towards something a little bit more amber and brown in my preference of what kind of malt intensity and what the base beer should be.
How do you feel it compares to Pumpkinhead though?
Yeah, that's a much more crushable beer. I'll give it that. I'll probably drink more of that beer, but this beer has a little bit more impression to it in sense of like flavor. So it's in that same range. I'm gonna give this one 83. So.
Even less than the Pumpkinhead, right?
No, I think I can give that 81.
Oh, okay.
So, this for me is 83. So post comments below if you want to try out cold pressed coffee pumpkin, what your opinions about pumpkin in general are, or about this beer. And so until next time, guys, cheers. Later.